आनन्दं प्रयन्त्यभिजं विशन्तीति तैषा भार्गवी वारुणी विद्या परमेभ्यो मन्प्रतिष्ठिता एवं वेद प्रतिष्ठति अन्नवानन्नादो भवति महान् भवति प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मवर्चसेन महान् कीर्त्या यो वेदादौ स्वरः प्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रकृतिर्नस्य यः परः स महेश्वरः.
Request Acharya Ji to light the Kuttuvilak. Hara Hara Shankara, Hara Hara Shankara, Om Deepa Jyoti Para Brahma, Deepa Jyoti Janatana, Jyotir Namo Ishwara. Follow Pushpanjali to Guru Parampara. Edi Murti Veda Vibhavine Yumavat Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Oh,
Rajaya Pradajnadayine Namo Mayam Vahi Shavanaya Gurmahe Mega Manka Mahamaya Masyam Kameshwaro Vai Shavano Dadatu Heraya Vai Shavanaya Maharajaya Namaha Raguragneti Muti Veda Vibhagine Yoma Vyakyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Suryo Bhatina Chandra Tarakam Eyo Bhakya Vahavahi Eyo Bhantum Vihati Sarvam Apuvasasanam Nivam Vibhati.
Om Sarvebhyo Devataभ्यो नमः नमस्ते नमः
Suryanjanam Tamasami
नीराजनानन्तरं माचोऽयं समर्पयामि पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि
Rayami Parvati Pataye Har Mahadeva. Invocation song by Brahma Tejaswini. I request Brahma Tejaswini to take up the stage.
गरुडगमन तव चरणकमलमिह मनसि लसतु मम नित्यम् गरुडगमन तव चरणकमलमिह मनसि लसतु मम नित्यम् मनसि लसतु मम नित्यं मम तापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा मम तापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा जलजनयन विधिनमुचिहरण मुख विबुध विनुत पद पद्मा जलजनयन विधिनमुचिहरण मुख विबुध विनुत पद पद्मा विबुध विनुत पद पद्मा मम तापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा मम तापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा भुजगशयन भव मदन जनक मम जनन मरण भयहारी भुजगशयन भव मदन जनक मम जनन मरण भयहारी जनन मरण भयहारी मम तापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा मम तापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा शंख चक्रधर दुष्ट दैत्यहर सर्वलोकशरणा शंख चक्रधर दुष्ट दैत्यहर सर्वलोकशरणा सर्वलोकशरणा मम तापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा मम तापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा अगणित गुणगण अशरण शरणद विदलित सुररिपुजाला अगणित गुणगण अशरण शरणद विदलित सुररिपुजाला विदलित सुररिपुजाला मम तापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा मम तापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा भक्तवर्यमिह भूरि करुणया पाहि भारती तीर्थम् भक्तवर्यमिह भूरि करुणया पाहि भारती तीर्थम् पाहि भारती तीर्थम् मम तापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा मम तापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा मम पापमपाकुरु देवा
Now followed by Panchanga Patanam by Jaya. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Adyatana Panchangam Shubesho Bhane Muhurte Adya Brahmanaha Dvitiya Parardhe Shvetavaraha Kalpe Vaivasvatamanvantare Ashtavimshati Tame Kaliyuge Prathame Pade Shatvimshatyatika Ekashatotara Panchasahasradama गतकलियुगाब्दे जम्बूद्वीपे भारतवर्षे भरतकण्ठे मेरोः दक्षिणे पार्श्वे वर्तमानशकाब्दे अस्मिन् वर्तमाने व्यावहारिके प्रभवादि षष्टिसंवत्सराणां मध्ये क्रोधीनाम संवत्सरः दक्षिणायनं वर्षऋतुः कन्यामासः शुक्लपक्षः एकादशी तिथिः भानुवासरः सविष्टा नक्षत्रं शूलयोगः वणिजकरणं तदुपरि विष्टिकरणं. Today is also 13th October 2024 Sunday. तिथेश्च श्रियमाप्नोति वारादायुष्यवर्धनं नक्षत्राद्धरते पापं योगात् रोगनिवारणं करणात् कार्यसिद्धिश्च पञ्चाङ्गफलमुत्तमं सर्वेषां शुभमस्तु. Om Swasti. Thank you, Brahma Tejaswini and Jaya, for the invocation song and the Panchanga Patanam. Now that I welcome our Acharya Sri Rangaji, who is always with us in the spiritual path, taking us to high levels. Today he is at Coimbatore with his students at Coimbatore, and we welcome Sri Acharya Rangaji. Now I hand over the mic to Sri Mahesh to speak about Acharya Rangaji. Over to Mahesh ji.
Acharya Rangaji. He has a lucid style of teaching and uses real-life examples to make his sessions both informative and engaging. He excels in communicating the vision, the profound vision of Shastra to the common man. A recent example of this is the captivating series Ramayanam in 48 Days. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Acharya Sri Rangaji.
Now Ashirvada Bhashanam be Acharya Sri Rangaji.
Hari Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Am I comfortably audible to everyone? Okay.
Yes, Acharya, we can hear you.
Oh, Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Vanamali Gadi Sangi Shanki Chakri Chanandaki Sriman Narayano Vishnu Vasudevo Virakshatu. Human beings have this spontaneous nature of being happy. While said so, we have lot of things, lot of deviations that can keep us from not being happy. So when two people meet, they ask each other, how are you? Naturally, the natural option for that question will be, yeah, I'm doing good, I'm doing fine, etc. And just in case we give an answer saying that, yeah, I'm not okay, or things are not going well, then you attract the sympathy of the other person. The other person becomes concerned about you. So it is in the human nature that everyone is expected and so the natural play of the self is being happy. While said so, and also having recognized that we have enough reasons to forget our happy full self, there are multiple things that we have invented, that we have around us to bring back to our pleased self. We have an entertainment box called the television. We have a personal computer. Nowadays, we have what is called as a mobile phone. So we need something that can keep us happy. Okay. So I would like to recall Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati here, who was, you should, most of you may be well aware of Swami Dayananda Saraswati of Rishikesh and Anekatti and Sailisburg. He has an ashram in Sailisburg as well. Once he was taking a class, and it was a serious class on Shankara Bhashyam in Brahmasutra. Just at the finish of the class, one student came and said, as he started to speak to Swamiji, he started smiling a lot. I was like, oh, Swamiji, I must tell you this, I'm not able to stop myself and I must tell you this. Swamiji was very eager to listen what he is going to say. And that particular student was not able to, control his laughter. And he was literally struggling to tell Swamiji what he wanted to tell. So much was he laughing. Then, along with so much of laughter, that student was like, Swamiji, the other day in the class, you said something, Swamiji. What a joke it was. Swamiji was like, okay. And Swamiji, I'm right from the time I understood what you said, I'm not able to stop my laughter. Swamiji said, very good. It's nice. Happy that you understood the joke and you are feeling happy about it. Very good. While saying this in a class, Swamiji said, I still don't know which joke he was referring to. Then all the students broke into laughter. At that particular junction, Swamiji makes an observation and says, see, I don't remember what joke I told that particular person. And while acknowledging that joke, when that student was telling me, he did not tell me what the joke was. Now, narrating the whole incident to you people, Swamiji said, I have not told you what joke it is. Yet, we are all here laughing it out or smiling it out on that incident without knowing what the joke is all about. So he makes a very important observation here, and a very, very crucial one is that a human being does not need anything to be happy. A human being does not need anything to be happy. However, we are acclimatized post our birth in the name of maturity, in the name of way of living, whatever name, in the name of culture, in the name of this is the right thing to do, and all those things, wherein we have been categorically taught that happiness is something to seek. We are categorically taught that happiness is something that needs to be sought from outside. Now that this particular myth has set into everyone's heads, this person tries to find it amongst his school friends. Graduating the school, this person tries to find it through a proper college admission. Graduating from college and postgraduate, this person finally finds the source of happiness. Yes, after 25 years of my life, this person comes with an eureka saying that the real happiness lies in getting married. And he feels he feels like a Newton or an Einstein about it. And he tries to find a right match for him. He gets married. After getting married, this Newton and Einstein gets more wiser. You know what? He says that marriage cannot make me happy. In fact, growing in number, marriage seems to be a huge reason for feeling bad. I got into it. Encumbrance of freedom, everything. Then kids. Then you are identified with what your kids do. I went to a government school or I went to some mediocre school, that never bothered me. But if my son goes to an ordinary school, there are 10 people around me asking, "Arey, why? क्या हो गया? क्यों ऐसे? वो स्कूल नहीं मिला क्या? अच्छा पैसा देना था क्या? पूछते तो मैं देता था. You should have sent him to that school. I know some person here. You should have asked me. You should have put in this school." So even before getting an admission to school for my kids, I get so worked up, and I come into a pressure to make the best decision. Leave alone his studies, leave alone his college graduation, and getting him married, and putting him in the same lot that we have all been into. And the parampara continues. Now, where does the problem lie? The problem really lies in the thinking that we have a problem to solve. The problem really lies in the fact in making a blind assumption that we have a problem to solve. Having taken birth, we have a problem to solve. Just that we don't know the nature of the problem, just that we don't know the size of the problem. Also, we don't know the timing of the problem. I cannot say when I will become sad. So, nature, size, timing, I don't know. More grave is that I really don't know whether I have a problem. This is the human problem. Now, how do we address it? Whom should we seek? What should we do? Come on, you have tried everything in the world. So, at least somewhere in some point of time, one should understand that doing cannot solve your problem. Doing cannot solve the problem, because the very doing, the very need for doing has come out of a basic problem, which is seeking. Why do I seek? Because I feel I don't have. Therefore, I seek. I seek because I think I don't have. Therefore, the real human problem is not in doing a right thing or not doing a right thing. Okay, is the human problem is in seeking? Human problem is also not in seeking. Then where is the human problem? The human problem is in the thinking that seeking will solve the problem. Okay, how do I now course correct my thinking? So one thing that everyone must try to see for yourself is that it is somewhere in the thinking that causes sorrow. It is my thinking that causes a sadness that I always carry inside me. It is the thinking that makes me feel inadequate. So, what is the solution? Solution is to understand that you are adequate. Solution is to understand that you are the pleased self. The solution is to understand that I don't have to do anything to be happy. Okay? This is a very nice textbook solution to say somebody that you don't have a problem. Somebody comes, he says, I have a problem. The doctor checks and says, you don't have a problem. That person is not happy. He says, doctor, I have a problem. Please give me some medicine or the other. Doctor says, Arey Baba, you don't have a problem. What medicine you want me to give? No, the later, this doctor, after few years of experience, he said, there is some kind of, I see that, you are not feeling okay. So I'm going to give you some medicines. Just take them for 5 days. Things going to be fine. And the doctor just gives him some, some vitamin supplements, and the patient is happy. The doctor is also a very good doctor now. Okay. Now, in this example, the one thing that needs to be noted is that a person who strongly believes that he has a problem, you cannot go to him and tell that you don't have a problem. He is not there to accept that. However, the scriptures tell, the scriptures show us the reality that if there is one thing that is without any problem, is the pleased self. Given that, how do we make a person, understand that he is in fact completely free? He's totally happy. He's totally adequate. He's totally acceptable. That's where scriptures introduce Ishwara. Ishwara is that nature of the being, which is the innate nature of you, me, and everything, which is complete, totally adequate, totally happy, Purnananda Swarupaha. And this fellow is already well accustomed to seeking, and this fellow also strongly believes that seeking will solve his problem. So the scriptures and acharyas, what they try to do is, they don't try to teach saying that don't seek. The scriptures and the acharyas don't try to change the person's nature of doing. So keeping the doing and seeking intact, the acharyas play an important role, because that is what Vedas also do, of shifting seeking and doing for a illusionary, transitionary goal to doing and seeking for a goal that does not move, a goal that is complete in itself. And the goal is given a name, Ishwara. Now, how do we seek Ishwara? The seeking of Ishwara begins with understanding Ishwara. How do I understand Ishwara? Umachi Kannakutidam. So we've been introduced that God is a person who has a long, sharp rod in his hand, and if you do something wrong, he's there to poke your eyes. And a fear factor is instilled. So whenever we say God, people fear. And there is also this nice title that we get, we are God-fearing. No, that doesn't work that way. All this time I feared my school principal. I feared my father or mother. I feared a stranger on the road. I feared my spouse after marriage. Now with all the spiritual upliftment, I'm going to have one more person to fear about, which is God. Come on. I think if God is the one that we are going to seek, who is going to free up all these areas of fear, then I think he should not be feared. But still he is feared because we do not understand him. This Vishnu Sahasranamam, the names that have been given to Lord Ishwara, I would prefer to use the word Ishwara than using the word Lord. It brings about enormous understanding into us about Ishwara. It makes us help connect with Ishwara spontaneously, effortlessly. It helps us, get Ishwara's grace. So once you start seeking that is complete, then all your erstwhile seeking will also become complete. Isn't it or not? So this Vishnu Sahasranama Bhashyam by Adi Shankaracharya is aimed at giving the right understanding about Ishwara. It is understanding that is going to solve our problem. With that note, the 1,000 names of Ishwara as Narayana, Mahavishnu, as given by the great Bhashyakara Adi Shankaracharya, will leave no stone unturned to ensure that you have a categorical, methodical, and a traditional understanding of Ishvara. And this understanding of Ishvara is the very purpose of our human birth. With that note, I would also like to add one more point here, that this understanding about Ishvara and our spiritual growth must always, we should be very careful about it. We are trying to be freed of all our fears, all our problems by seeking Ishvara. Now, with that note, it needs to be handled by a person who is very good at it. And in the tradition, we call them a Sampradaya with. You can take that with as even the English with, the one who is with the Sampradaya, or the Sampradaya which is with whom. Anyways, you can take the meaning. That is one who knows the right and the precise way of giving this understanding. If you want me to translate Sampradaya with, the one who is aware of the precise method of handing over this understanding into our thinking. And Acharya Suryapriya Ji is a Sampradaya with Brahma Vidyacharya. I was fortunate enough by Ishwara's grace to have her as my life's companion, and we studied together under Shri Swami Brahma Yogananda, who is our Guru, without whom what we are today will only be an imagination, or not even, we cannot even imagine like this without him, a life like this. And you are well aware of the parampara, because it is the parampara that gives you a sampradaya with teacher. And that parampara starts from Sadashiva, Narayana, through Shankaracharya, the recent great gigantic milestone being Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati, Swami Paramarthananda, our Guru Swami Brahma Yogananda, and you have before you the Ganga that is flowing, starting from Gomukh, now what? The Ganga Tira at Rishikesh or Haridwar is Acharya Smt.Suryapriya Ji. Acharya Smt.Suryapriya Ji has always been topping the schools in her academics. She has studied in a school by name Holy Angels Convent in Chennai, a very, very well-renowned convent. In her graduation, she was an university rank holder in Tamil. And she went ahead to take up chartered accountancy. That is where we met each other. And she was an All India rank holder in one of the most difficult examinations of the country. And she took up a career with PricewaterhouseCoopers, another topmost firm in the world, holding senior positions there. And you have said all this more than being a chartered accountant, more than being an academically very, very bright student. I think transcending all these things as a part of her Swadharma, she is one of the best mothers. She is one of the best wives. She is one of the best, very difficult to say, but this is true. She is one of the best daughter-in-laws. And as you all, some of you may already know, and many of you are going to know, she is also one of the best acharyas that a person can get. She never leaves any of her personal course undone just because she is handling so many classes a week. She is still on the roads with a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, dropping her daughter to school and picking her up, Natyam class, dance class, everything. So be very, very careful when you are giving a reason to her for not attending a class. Because the reason for which you are not attending a class may be something that she is already doing and yet taking a class. Okay, so she is one of the brilliant people I have ever met in my life. And she is very, very clear and crisp and very, very detailed in her explanations and making, her joy is to see that you completely understand things. She's been conducting a lot of courses here back in Chennai. More than 100 people are directly benefited by taking classes under her. She has covered over 7-8 Upanishads. She is about to complete the entire Bhagavad Gita for the second time. And every nuance of the Shastras she has done. She had been the pen of my Guruji, her Guruji, to write over 30 books, both in English and Tamil. So I think the list will go on and on and on. Just to tell you that you are all in safe hands, traditional hands, expert hands. So all that is required from you is two things. I think she will reiterate in her classes and also emphasize these two things that you have to give as your fee for this entire study is sincerity and commitment. Be sincere to what you do and stay committed. Rest all things, the magic of the Guru will work. With that note, I think I've taken a little longer than how much I should be taking. Yet, I profusely thank Advaita Bharati for considering me worthful and capable of giving this introductory note for Vishnu Sahasranamam, Bhashyam, and also about Acharya Suryapriya Ji. Shri Guru Pyo.
Thank you, Acharya Sri Rangaji, for the Ashirvada Bhashanam and taking us one step closer to the Ishwara, introducing all of us to the one of the best Acharyas for this session. Thank you, Acharya Ji. Before commencing the class, we welcome our Acharya Ji by garlanding. I request Vidya Ji to garland. त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुः सखा मदेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव Jai Guru Sargunath Maharaj Ki Jai. We are all eagerly waiting for the session about Lord Ishwara, the Mahavishnu. I request all the Vidyarthis, the participants, the students to switch on your videos and mute your mics. Thank you. ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Please repeat after me. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. My namaskarams to the entire Guru Parampara. My namaskarams to Pujya Swamiji. My namaskarams to Swami Paramarthananda. And my namaskarams to my Guru, because of whom I am what I am today, and because of whom I am here today for the class. My namaskarams to Acharya Sri Rangaji for gracefully accepting to present the introductory talk to Vishnu Sahasranamam. He's been a renowned Acharya who has already handled the classes, the series on Vishnu Sahasranamam here some years back. So, our religion, traditionally called Vaidika dharma. Vaidika dharma is the traditional name to our religion. And the one who follows this dharma is called a Vaidikaha. Generally, this name is associated with a Brahman priest, Vaidikaha. Factually speaking, anyone who follows this dharma, the Veda dharma, is called a Vaidikaha. And he takes up the way of life prescribed by the Vedas to lead his life accordingly. So why did I say religion? Religion, we must have heard that Hindu is not a religion, it is a way of life. And we have also heard about Hindu sanatana dharma. So, and we say Hindu is not a religion but a way of life, it is sanatana dharma. So how do we first of all understand what this is? What does one mean by religion, and what does one mean when he says way of life? Isn't it not one and the same, or are there differences between the two? First of all, we must understand this term religion, right? It's a very popular term in English, and we have known that in English the words are generally borrowed from Greek and Latin, and they have all the wherewithal to say it sounds like Greek and Latin when you don't understand something. So it is a borrowed language. And this word religion
was borrowed from the Latin word religare. It means to bind somebody, to bind one with something. Okay, so religion means to bind. So what does it bind? Who does it bind? It binds the followers of the religion. It binds its followers. And that's why we have this common expression in English. When there is an instruction, you say, I religiously follow that. Right? So it means you have taken it up, you are bound with it to follow as per what is prescribed by it. Right? So this is the first feature of a religion, is to bind. The second thing about religion is any religion will have a history of its origin. It is born at some point in time. It is born at some point in time, which means before that point in time, that religion was not there. And it came into existence at some point in time. And it also has a model of God, generally a male, and sitting somewhere that we don't know or we have not seen. And it is promised that you would see him when? After your death. Right? You have to die to see him. All right. Now the third thing is, religion has a set of do's and don'ts. Okay? And it is one set of do's and don'ts for just everybody. All right? No matter what is the state of your maturity, you may be a person of good maturity, you may be a person who is not so mature. So whatever is the state of your maturity, you may be a person of good values, you may not be a person of good values. Whether something is relevant to you, it's not relevant to you, that is of no consequence. Religion prescribes just one set of do's and don'ts for all. And there is one book which is commonly called as the Holy Book. Right? These are the features of religion. We are just seeing the features of religion. It is one book, one set of instruction for all, and one God. Right? The fourth thing is, because it was born in time, it has an identifiable founder. You can say back in history that this was the person who brought about this religion. And it has a target set of followers. That's the fifth point. Okay? And they say if you are a Christian, you got to follow this. If you are a Muslim, you got to follow this. Right? So it has a target set of followers, and it targets more followers as well. But however, we are not taking that up as part of this discussion, because our aim is to understand the difference between religion and the way of life called sanatana dharma. All right. Now this is about, you can just keep plotting more and more differences. However, we have just taken up these 5 as a sample. And now we will see correspondingly how is sanatana dharma, or the way of life we are talking about. So we said that religion has a tendency to bind people. Right? Religion is meant, in fact, for binding people with its doctrine. What about sanatana dharma? And you say Hindu is never a religion. Why? There is no bondage? Yes, there is no bondage. In fact, the goal or the purpose of sanatana dharma is to free somebody from bondage. The goal is liberation, or to put it more correctly, moksha. And moksha is not posthumous, is not after death. Okay, that one must understand. All right. Now, what other features are there for this way of life? Now, you do not have one set of do's and don'ts. Okay? Before that, there is no founder. There is no one founder that you can identify. And this dharma does not have an origination in time. Why? That is what is meant by sanatana. Sanatana means it is timeless. So this has always been. There is no origination. You cannot fix a date of origin in any timeline. All right. And it has no one holy book. Oh my God. We popularly say, when we say Bible is the holy book for Christians and Quran is the holy book for Muslims, and what is the holy book for the Hindus? It is the Bhagavad Gita, right? And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I borrow all these ideas from the Vedic rishis. So now what is the real holy book? Veda. Veda is the real book, and Veda is not a book. It is a whole set of teaching which comprises of a lot of auxiliary scriptures and a lot of secondary, tertiary literatures, which all make up to one Shastram, because the vision is one and the same. It is the same vision being presented at various levels to ensure that every adhikari, person of every kind of maturity, is able to understand, is able to pick up the vision from wherever he is, from whichever state of maturity he is in. Right? So, and whom does it address? Who is the target audience for Veda? Who is the target audience? Hindus are the target audience. Is that so? You don't find the name Hindu in Veda. You can never find the name Hindu in Bhagavad Gita as well. Right? Krishna doesn't say, if you're a Hindu, follow this. Arjuna, you are a Hindu, so you better follow this. No. He says, this I am giving Arjuna for the entire human race. If you are a human being, anyone who thinks he is a human being falls under the applicability of the Veda, the Vedic tradition. All right. So, what about the prescription of God? What about the prescription of God? Religion has one God, we saw. What about Sanatana Dharma? Sanatana Dharma, or the Hindu Sanatana Dharma, which is how it is addressed in the recent times. How many gods you have? You have a population that even exceeds that on the earth. Right? So it's such a huge population of gods and deities. We call them deities. All right. How is it different from God? We will see that. Not today, maybe in the course of the series, we will definitely see more information on that. Therefore, Hindu Sanatana Dharma, all I wanted to say, is not a religion. It is a way of life following the prescriptions of the Veda, which is tailor-made for each and every person's living. I can be an unmarried person, a brahmachari, I can be a grihastha, a married person, I can be a retired person, I can be a sannyasi. So in my personal life, I can be one of the four. So you have specific principles to follow in your life accordingly. And when it comes to the contribution, your role in the society, one can be a brahmana, one can be a kshatriya, taken up responsibilities of administration, one can be a vaishya, a business person, or one can be a shudra, like how most of us are, right? You are employed with somebody and you are salaried, right? You draw salary. So there are disciplines and do's and don'ts according to the dharma that you have taken up, the lifestyle that you have taken up, that you have chosen. So you have a freedom to choose your lifestyle. You have freedom to choose the God you want to, the God you want to worship. There is so much of freedom that is given in sanatana dharma because our Vedas, our scriptures understand that no two human beings are one and the same. No two human beings are similar. The preferences of no two human beings would be alike. There are differences. So our scriptures respects the differences and it gives the freedom for us to practice according to our preferences. Now, where is the bondage? So there is all the setup is ready now to help you get out of bondage. Rangaji beautifully made a statement that the whole problem of human beings is all about the notion that I have a problem. Right? It begins there. So you think of satisfying yourself with something, becoming something, getting something to satisfy a need that you think, if satisfied, would solve your problem. Right? All right. We'll come to that. So, now coming back to the way of life. Okay? The religion called Hindu. So, our religious life, our way of religious life is centered on Ishwara, is filled with Ishwara. Our scriptures prescribe to lead a life which is centered on, which is Ishwara centered. Because we just heard Acharya Rangaji saying that this vacuum that one has, the need to fulfill himself, the need to keep him happy, the seeking tendency of the human being to seek happiness, to seek peace in life, to seek security in life, the seeking, the emptiness, the problem that one is given to can only be removed, can be solved only with the knowledge of Ishwara. So that is where Shastram, we heard him say that is where Shastram introduces Ishwara into one's life. In our way of life, we are introduced to Ishwara when? From childhood, right from the beginning, right? As children, our parents, our grandparents are always there in our tradition to teach us how to pray. So Ishwara is introduced as a person, as somebody who is always there. You may not know where, but he's there to give you all that you want, to help you with all that you are struggling. All right. So our religious way of life we saw is Ishwara centered. Now again, this one has to carefully understand the term Ishwara. Okay, Ishwara popularly we refer to Shiva, right? Popularly the word Ishwara we mean Shiva, but in Vedic term Ishwara means the Almighty. It does not refer to any one particular deity with a name and form. Okay, so our religious life from childhood can be broadly classified into two. The first stage is called Ishwara Aradhanam, where you are introduced to God, introduced to Ishwara by your parents, by the elders, and then you start doing a small puja. And then the second stage of life is Ishwara Jnanam. That is where the purpose of life culminates. All right, we'll come to that. So in the first stage, in the stage of Ishwara Aradhanam, there is no knowledge of Ishwara. There is no Ishwara Jnanam, or you have very little, maybe little information about Ishwara. Then what is the basis for Aradhanam? Aradhana means puja, right? Worshipping. How will I worship somebody without even knowing about him? I can't even talk to somebody without knowing about him. How will I worship somebody? So, I don't even know who Ishwara is, and then what can be the basis for me to worship him? So, the basis is Shraddha. Can be loosely translated as faith. Shraddha. Now be careful, this is not blind belief, okay? Blind belief is something which has no basis and which cannot become a subject matter of knowledge later. But whereas Ishwara, in our way of life, is not merely worshipped in faith. Though initially is worshipped in faith, later on he becomes the subject matter of knowledge. That is why we said the second stage is Ishwara Jnanam, and we said we will see that later, a little later. So, now is it possible for me to believe something about somebody and worship him? This faculty of faith is a natural faculty which every human being is blessed with. Now you can say there are rationalists who don't agree to this because they talk of reasoning. There is a woman who came and told me, how can we believe God? Now, it is not scientifically proved. The existence of God is not scientifically proved. How do you believe God? Is the existence of your emotion scientifically proved? No. Can I say that you are a person of no emotion? Is the existence of your intellectual strength, your IQ, scientifically proved? How much intelligent you are? Is there a measure, is there a unit of measure to say one person is so much intelligent, so many units of intelligence, and this person is of so many units of intelligence? Is that possible? No, it is not possible. So can I say that you are a Buddhu? No, I can't. Right? There are so many things which are beyond reasoning. Even a rationalist sticks on to reasoning because he has faith in reasoning. He still believes that reasoning makes sense to him. Right? And we just saw that not at all times reasoning or logic can help you in life. Right? So we all know of this famous example where we say a tumbler, a cup is half full of water, therefore we say half full is half empty. And they say, can we say full is equal to empty? So we've heard of this. So reasoning or logic does not work at all times. It has its limitations, and that's why our scriptures, Kathopanishad, says, Naisha tarkena matirapaneya. Logic will not take you a long way. And Brahma Sutra, there is a sutra in Brahma Sutra that handles the analysis on logic exclusively, which says, Na tarka apratishtanat. Just to establish that these things cannot be proved by reasoning. Reasoning doesn't work, it fails. So now, to practice Ishwara Aradhana, faith is the basis, and this is the beginning stage of our life, worshipping Ishwara in whatever form. So we don't require Ishwara Jnanam in the first stage. Nobody really knows who Ishwara is, where he is he there or not? Sometimes, when life is, pressurizing you and you are in a point where you are totally helpless, what comes to your mind is, are you there or not? And you make me suffer, right? So all these things, all these emotions come to play at that point in time. All right. So at the first stage, the point is that there is no requirement of Ishwara Jnanam in the first stage. What one needs is faith, deep faith. And along with that, some basic information about Ishwara to hold your faith. Right? That some basic information is the information that the elders of the family have given us. What is that information? When you ask, who is Omachi? Where is Omachi? What does he do? And mom says, he is the one who created all of us. He is the one who created this world. Everything he created. He is the one who created food. He is the one who created water, the sun, the stars, the moon. He is the one who created everything. So he is the Srishtikarta, the Sthitikarta, and the Layakarta as well. So we say, it is from whom? It is from the God or Ishwara that the entire creation came, the entire creation rests, and he is the resolution ground for the entire creation. This much is enough, right? He's the one who gave everything for me. He is the one who made me. So this much information is enough in the beginning, and the scriptures say that Ishwara can be invoked in several forms for the Aradhana. So you like a male god, you can have a male god. And suppose you say, I don't like male, I don't like men. You can have a woman as your god, you can have a baby as your god, you can have a youth form of god. Suppose you are fed up with the regular, the stereotype male and female forms, you can have a mixture as well. Right? And suppose you are a little playful and you don't like human beings, you say you want animals. You can have animals. He said, no, I am not happy with anything in animals also. It'll be nice if it's a mixture of human and animals. Yes, you have them as well. So you can have any form you want. And you have the name, you have a prescribed name, and then you have a whole set of prayers. Our elders in this culture, you have so many acharyas, so many rishis who composed poems on all the deities. So you have a lot of them, and you can choose according to, you have a choice. Which is the best shop? The shop that has only one color dress, or a shop that has a variety of colors and variety of designs, variety in the textile used. Which is the best shop? Yeah, where you have variety, obviously, right? Because it understands you, right? You go there, not in a shop where you just get one thing, just one thing. Whether you like it or not, you have to do this, right? You have one God, and whether you like a male or not, he is a male. And suppose you don't, you prefer a clean-shaven man. No, you don't have a choice. He is with beard. Okay, so you have all these restrictions in other religions, whereas Sanatana Dharma loves you, gives you so much of freedom, because the goal of human life is freedom. So there is freedom at every stage. There is no point curtailing your freedom and say, be happy. All right. So you have forms of various kind. You also have the formless. You can use flames. You have the Omkara. You have the swastika. You have the other symbols as well in place of forms which is worshipped. So it's very simple. You invoke Ishwara in any of the form or symbol that you want, that you are comfortable with, in the name that you like. And there is a small, you just take some flowers and you offer him, and whatever you eat or drink in the morning, you can just show him. Nevedyam does not mean God is eating is. Nivedanam in Sanskritam literally means informing God. You inform him. You tell him, it's a gesture of gratitude. Tell him, I really thank you for giving me this food today, this milk today, this bread today, whatever you are eating. So you show him and you say thank you, because you can't feed him. He's the one who created everything, right? And you just serve him just 2 idlis or 1 cup of rice, and you think he'll be happy with that? And you think you can make him happy with something? He is all happiness. All right. So Kayika Puja, Vachika Puja, Manasa Puja, we have a lot of variety in them, and we'll see more of them. And in our daily Aradhana, this is where I wanted to conclude. There is an extension in our Aradhanam. In the extension, what do? First you invoked him, and then you worshipped him. Your worship is over. It just takes a couple of minutes in the morning. That is good enough in the beginning stage. Just some flowers, and whatever you are going to eat or drink, you offer him, and then you show Harati, Karpur Harati, and you can complete the puja. And then what do? What do you do with him now? You got to send him back home. You called him. Said Avahayami, and you called him. You invoked him in the symbol in front of you, and then now you say, okay, bye, you can go back. Say Yatasthanam Pratishtapayami. Right? What do you mean? You call God and you ask him to go away. Where does he go? So he goes away from you. Yatasthanam means what? His original residence. And you know where his original residence is? When you say Yatasthanam Pratishtapayami, the original residence of Ishwara is here. The heart of the worshipper. So I invoke him from here in front of me, I transact with him, and then I can say de-invoke him. Okay, it's my own English. I'm sure there is no word in English like that. So you send him back, you de-invoke him, and to his yatasthanam, to his original residence, which is my own heart. And when one does this with this attitude, the whole day will be a wonderful day, because God, Ishwara, is always with you. Your favorite Ishwara is always with you, and he is all strength, all happiness, everything in its fullest, right? All fame, all wealth, all power, all happiness, all security, and you have him with you always, all through the day. So what a day it would be. A day where you have the mightiest person with you to help you, to protect you all through the day. So the day begins with Aradhanam and the day ends with Aradhanam. And this is how a sanatana dharmi leads his life. If you really want to live a life worth the name, calling yourself a Hindu, calling yourself a sanatana dharmi, this is how the life is led, filled with Ishwara. So we'll see more of this in tomorrow's class, tomorrow's session. So we just end with a prayer, and I would like to just say a few words about tomorrow's session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. So first of all, my apologies for overshooting the time. From tomorrow, we will start on time, and we will definitely finish on time. There'll be no question of spilling over the prescribed time, the informed time. So this is the first class, and I'm very happy that all of you made it. Welcome to the series on Vishnu Sahasranamam. So today we had a general introduction on Ishwara, and tomorrow we'll get into the specific introduction on Vishnu Sahasranamam, and we'll proceed with the text. We will chant every shloka starting from the Purva Bhaga, Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnu, and we will see the meaning of each of them in the background of Adi Shankaracharya's commentary. So this is a wonderful text to help you in the second stage, which we said Ishwara Jnanam, understanding of God, that gives a lot of clarity in life, that gives a lot of strength in life. So it's very important, and it's in our tradition, the second class should not be missed. It is very important, and it so happened that it's a blessing that today, on the day of Vijayadashami, we had our first class, the Vidyarambham, and the schedule for our Vishnu Sahasranama classes being every Sunday evening in the US and every Monday morning here in India. So it is a blessing that it so happened that our second class is followed in our scheduled time. It's going to be Sunday evening tomorrow in US and Monday morning here in India. And thereafter we will have this class every Sunday evening in the US and Monday morning in India. So very, very pleased to meet all of you, and all the best. My prayers to the Sanatana Guru Parampara that this series of Vishnu Sahasranama should be of the best use to all of you, and that all of you are benefited from this series. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah.